I would offer an apology, but there's no reason to. Nobody pays me to do this, aside from AdSense. But what I mean is, no one is paying a subscription to watch me, or nothing like that. So I don't have any duty to grace you all with my presence. It's a bandwidth problem. You know, there's only 24 hours in a day. And when you add sleep, work, eating, taking a shit, right? Taking a piss, whatever the case might be, social activities, right? Whatever it is, coming here on YouTube, there was no bandwidth there, you know, for it. I made room to listen to some guys. I still make room to watch the sport. I saw the Mayweather fight, right, at a bar, but I watched it at a bar where they didn't even charge cover because nobody was going. But nonetheless, all right, but some even lost money that night. You know, it is what it is. But nonetheless, I saw the Matisse fight with, last week when he got knocked out. I did not see the Adrian Broner fight. I listened to people's commentary on YouTube about it. But nonetheless, it's I haven't gone out of my way to just come on here and make videos, to be honest, and I don't see why I should. I have been so disappointed with the sport of boxing in the last recent years. It's been a constant thing. Like, the love of the sport has been beat out of me. It's no matter how much you tolerate, you reach a point where, well, fuck this, right? And that's that. Like, it's at a point where, like, I'll watch it because I love the sport, but as you can see, the enthusiasm is not there, right? And look, there's people that say, stop complaining. There's a fight every weekend. In terms of volume, sure, there's a fight almost virtually every weekend in boxing, right? The problem is that the sport is just all over the place. I mean, it's a big clusterfuck. Like, just in this country alone, yes, Showtime, HBO, like 3 of the networks, Spike, Fuse TV or whatever, or whoever else those fights, right? Fox Sports 1. A lot of boxing on. A lot of it. And some of the fights are good. But it's a lot of quantity. A lot of it. I mean, when it comes to quantity, sure. I mean, I'm with you, right? As far as quantity goes, yeah, there's a lot of fights, there's a lot of belts, there's a lot of weight classes, there's a lot of everything in boxing, right? A lot of promoters, a lot of bullshit, right? In terms of quantity, there's a lot in boxing. I mean, I'll give you that. But let's talk about quality, right? Due to all the quantity of belts, the quality ain't that good, right? Does that correlate necessarily with the quantity of fights? No, right? Quantity of fights shows worldwide activity, right? But there is a causation there in the quality of fights being impacted. Because the best are, in fact, not fighting the best at a regular basis. It's just not happened. There's no urgency to get the best, to fight the best. Everything's a business, and it makes business sense to never give us the fights we want to see for some hypothetical time at a hypothetical period when we hypothetically should be watching a fight, which hypothetically never happens. Yet the sport is not generating much if it's all about business. You know, for a sport that really like talks about business, you know, I mean, we have a better shot at a Republican like balancing the budget, right? I mean, this sport reeks of bad business, right? Doesn't treat its customers right. Bad business, right? It's losing all its customers to another similar sport. Bad business, right? Airs fights that nobody wants to see. Bad business. Airs fights that nobody asked for, you know. Bad business. Fights we really want to see, they can't happen for business reasons. Bad business, right? If you go to McDonald's and you ask for a fucking Big Mac and they tell you, well, we could serve it to you, but we don't have the meat. Why? Well, you know, the meat distributor and you know, didn't they get along? You have to understand the business side of it. You know, they just didn't get along with the McDonald's chain, so they're no longer delivering the meat, and you know, like, you would be like, this is stupid, right? You know, this is retarded. You know, for a sport that prides itself on, well, boxing's a business, there's it has terrible business practices. Just terrible. I mean, shit. All right? So, that's my point. Could you imagine, you know, Roger Goodell, why are you not going to have the two best teams play each other in the Super Bowl? What's going on? Well, you know, business reasons, you know. You got to understand the business side of it. It doesn't make business sense to, you know, put that team against that team, even though they're the two best teams, because, you know, it's if you put the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl, it's going to generate more money. It's just, you people are dumb. You don't understand the business side of it. Like, you see, what happens is when we shift our minds to another sport, like in this case, football, right? I could guarantee you, everybody who just listened to me give that example said to themselves, that's retarded. That would never happen. It happens in boxing all the time. It's just you become so accustomed to it. It doesn't make sense to people outside of the boxing bubble. It shouldn't take me 10 minutes to explain to a casual fan why Fighter A has not fought Fighter B. It shouldn't take that long. All right? It's just, well, business. That's just become the short answer to the bullshit. All right? It can't happen for business reasons. That's the stupidest thing I've heard. All right? I mean, this is promoter beefs. You know, do you all think that every NFL owner likes each other? Look, I don't know. I wouldn't know. I don't know them, right? But like, if the owner of the Washington Redskins and Jerry Jones, the owner of I forgot the name of the Washington Redskins coach. Owner, and Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys, if they hated each other, right? Let's say they were beefing for some stupid, you know, billionaire problems, right? Things we wouldn't understand. If they were beefing, okay, you're telling me it would be acceptable? Like, it's like the NFL would not schedule them to play each other because Jerry Jones and this other owner, you know, just they're beefing. They don't like each other, right? They're not going to allow each other to make money from each other. I mean, it's stupid. The fact that happens, you know, or like, can you imagine, like, only in boxing, CBS and Fox both air football, right? They even compete against each other once in a while, right? Head to head. But they're not beefing with one another. You know, only in this sport. It's the shit's insane. The networks are beefing for what? For business reasons. You don't understand. You know, you all like become, when it comes to explaining why something that we all want to see can't happen, man, you guys go into detail. I mean, I keep hearing about how, man, nobody comes out here and breaks down sweet science to the T. Very few people actually really do that, by the way. There's just a lot of talk, all right? And the truth is, you know, it's a lot of people just use the words like jab, parry. Oh, you say parry? Like, people thinking like you're a fucking boxing expert and breaking down the sweet science, okay? Oh yeah, you parry the jab and then you come with a counter, and people are like, ooh, he broke it down. Like, whatever, man, that shit's overrated, to be honest, right? But here's my thing, all right? When it comes to breaking down the science of why we can't get our shit, that shit is broken down to a T. Like, you guys are, you become Inspector Gadget, like, you know, you MacGyver. You know, you go MacGyver with the shit. You break it down to the T. All right. I mean, you know the name of the name of the name. They shit. Like, I wondered to myself, like, you went out of your way to figure all this out. You know, like, what? Oh yeah, well, what happened is that 3 years ago this and this happened, and you know, and the offices of so and so at Golden Boy, and over there at Top Rank, and then at the TNT gym, and blah blah blah, blah. Like, and I talked to so and so that talked to so and so. I mean, holy shit! It's like a soap opera, man. Like, I don't care about all that. I mean, when it comes to breaking that down, why we can't get our shit. You guys are experts at explaining that all day, right? You won't bother, you know, explaining to us how it can happen. You know, you're more concerned about why it can't happen. You know, because explaining the business side of boxing, I mean, you guys that's what they break down, right? When you hear all this, like, oh, breaking down the sweet science, there are very few people that can really break that down, all right? What they're really talking about is breaking down why we can't get the shit we want to see. Explaining that, ooh, so some of you are flawless. Like, some of you break that shit down to the T, right? And then you got all these guys, you know, breaking records. I mean, like, think of it this way, right? Let's say that let's get away from football, right? Let's say any sport. Let's say basketball, all right? Let's say that in basketball, the LA Lakers got to pick in advance who they're going to play, right? Like, they get to pick who they're going to play. Are you telling me if they get to pick who they're going to play, when they're going to play them, and the conditions in which they will play them, and always in the Staples Center, you know, and that's it. Okay, and not only that, like, the Lakers got to, you know, get advantages because they're more popular, and you know, the three-point line was closer for them, the free throw line is closer, you know, the rim is, you know, not a lot, it's only 2 inches, you know, lower than the other teams, you know, but, you know, it's not going to make a difference in the game. You know, you don't think that they're going to cut. Would you be shocked if the Lakers make the playoffs? Would you be shocked if they break records? Like, they just have, like, the longest winning streak in history? You know, would you be shocked? Would that shock you? And then when they make the playoffs, they don't even have to play like the other best teams. Like, they could just, like, play whoever they want and they call themselves champ. You know, they could just play the Bobcats or something, and then they're the champ. Do the Bobcats still suck? I don't know. I haven't watched basketball in a while. All right, you know, they don't got to play the best. You know, they could just play whoever they want, and then just call themselves champ. And then at the same time, like, the Cavaliers could play somebody else, and they could call themselves champ. You know, and then, you know, this shit sounds stupid this is what's going on in boxing, right? And then let's just say hypothetically that, you know, Golden State, right? The champs, right? Let's say they call themselves champ, and they never even have to play each other. That's it. There's 4 champions at the end of the year, and that's it. And when you ask why don't they play each other? Why don't they play to the NBA final the way they used to do it? Well, you don't understand the business side of it, right? The Lakers are champions, right? They're official champions of the NBA, blah 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 league, and they were promoted by such and such, right? That's dumb. Like, you're telling me right now that, like, if the Patriots were able to pick who they're going to play every week, that they won't go undefeated, and they could pick who they want to play in the Super Bowl. You're telling me they won't become Super Bowl champs? Like, you think, well, those are team sports. You think in tennis, if tennis players got to pick who they're going to play, like, you think if if they got to pick who they're going to play, right, and they could pick whoever they want to play in a championship, and they would have become the champ. You don't think. I mean, you think if Tiger Woods just got to pick who he's going to play golf with? Is Tiger Woods still playing? I don't even know. If he got to pick whoever he's going to play with, you don't think Tiger Woods would always win a major? I mean, some of you need to open your eyes, man. And I'm just saying. Peace.